Welcome to the study of emotion. Before I talk very much about this, I'd like you to look at a video clip of a car commercial. So click on the picture of the faces that you see on this slide, and after you've watched the commercial, then come back to the slideshow and take a look at the next slide. Well, hopefully you've had a chance to change your underwear by now. Even if you knew what was coming, even if you had seen that video clip before, you had a strong biological reaction to what happened. Your heart started pounding, you flinched, your hair stood on end, adrenaline was racing through your system. And this reinforces the idea that emotions are very much biological events. Your endocrine system is secreting hormones, and all kinds of other things are happening to make us respond. Remember the video of Phineas Gage that we looked at way back in Module 2, when the pathways between his emotional brain and his cortex were severed. His emotional life was sort of out of control. And that also is evidence that biology is very much involved in what's going on with the emotional experience. In research, emotions get measured in many different ways. Much of the time, it's assessed through a self-report measure. People fill out a questionnaire or they answer questions describing their emotional state at the time as best they can. Sometimes we infer what people's emotions are by observing their behavior. Is their voice tense? Is their facial expression giving something away? Are they acting in a way that you would expect people to act when they're experiencing particular emotions? There are also physiological measures of emotions where we can connect people to biographs, instruments that record physiological responses, and measure things like the galvanic skin response, heart rate, oxygen consumption, muscle tension. These are all different physiological measures that reflect emotional arousal. These are components of things like a lie detector, for example. So in this module, you'll be learning a lot about how emotion works and what theories psychologists have proposed to understand it. I'm not going to talk very much about the theories behind emotion. Your textbook covers these pretty well, and I want you to know them. The most popular ones are the James Lange theory of emotion. This is one of the earliest theories of emotion proposed by psychologists. To put it a little too simply, the James Lange theory proposes that emotions have their own unique pattern of arousal, and that pattern of activation in the body is the emotion. We know what we're feeling instantly because of what's happening with our body. There are other ways to think about emotion, though. Some interesting cognitive theories propose that we kind of figure our emotions out by observing our own behaviors and our own feelings the same way we would figure out emotions in other people. So this comes from self-perception theory. And easily the most influential of these cognitive theories has been Schachter and Singer's cognitive labeling theory of emotion. According to the Schachter and Singer model, there are situations in which we don't automatically know what we're feeling. We have a heightened state of arousal, and then we look around us in our situation for cues to tell us what emotion we're experiencing. So in other words, we have to figure out our emotion. And they have several propositions that they have tested in a number of studies. Your textbook describes these in some detail, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but Schachter and Singer's theory is important, so I want you to know it. So move on to the other PowerPoint presentations as we explore the very interesting topic of emotion.